All right, here we go. I am live, and if you can tell, he's over my shoulder. I always get this wrong. That's my man, Brant Collins. Brent, how are you doing, sir?
I got that wrong too, so I'm
Yeah,
looking
you got it
backwards
wrong
and
too. There you
backwards.
go.
Let me get it in the camera. There we go. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, this is awesome, man. This is awesome to have you here with me
I got
today.
my shirt too.
Yeah, you're right on it.
I'm on
We're,
it.
we're like, these are going to be collector items t-shirts, like the first
They are.
official stream show t-shirts. Like if you don't have one, you can still order it. It's still out there to be ordered, but the logo has changed. Some things have changed. So these are like the ones that you want to get, the authentic original ones. And I think that Brent, you actually did the design for this, right?
I did. I did that in what did we do that in? Canva. I gotta switch something here on my computer real quick.
There you go. So, hey guys, I want to tell you as you come in, just check in with us. I want to know who you are, where you are listening and watching in from today. And of course, this is going to be a great show. Brant is back. So if you don't know about the stream show, Brant and I started the stream show a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I can't even remember
It's
now
during the
when we
pandemic.
started.
Well, I guess it was the first year after the pandemic, right? That January.
Yes. Was it?
Yep.
Yeah. We did start in January, so it had to be January 2021, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So we got people watching us in Florida in the bed. Miss Green, thank you for hanging out with us today. I promise it won't be so much of a reunion show. We're going to talk about some things that creators go through, but why not have a slight reunion with my guy, Brent, since he's here. And Brent, you've been doing all kinds of things since the last time people got to see you on the stream show.
Yeah, and I've been I don't know, I just kind of took a step back from everything as far as personally what I created. Yeah, of course, I've been working at the library, doing content creation there, and kind of got in a rhythm there where I got that kind of, well, think I have it kind of figured out. And then I just kind of searching, finding what I needed to do next, doing some freelance work, trying to market myself as far as freelance. But then I got some new things that we'll talk about when we get into it that I'm working on. So,
And
just always experimenting, always trying to figure it out.
so for people, 2020, the Let's Get Live VIP group with Doc Rock, we started doing this thing called Vlogmas. Of course, Vlogmas wasn't something we created. We just decided all together as a group to do Vlogmas. And I got to shout out Elicio Way because he kind of got me started in with the whole group as far as doing reviews of the Vlogmas videos. So as people would put their videos into the Facebook group timeline, we would go through that night and just show all of those Vlogmas videos and talk about them, give encouragement, all that kind of stuff. So Alicia, again, kind of got me started into this. And we did like 2 weeks in a row, every night going and reviewing these videos, and we got tired. I mean, it was a lot to be doing, streaming every night. So we went in the community and said, hey guys, who else can do this? And Brant, Kevin Lyons, CEO, and Lemuel did a show all together. Now, I've already been introduced to Brant early on, but after I saw that show, I was like, man, these guys know what they're talking about when it comes to creating videos. I was just blown away by what Kevin, Lemuel, and Brant was saying, and I had an opportunity to create a show for Ecamm, and I said, I got to have a co-host, and that co-host has to be Brant Collins. And we talked. Brant said yes, and the stream show was created in 2 weeks, and our claim to fame is we were monetized before we even did our first show together. So that gives you the preface to who Brant and I are together and how we got started with the stream show. And I talked to us all the way through the countdown, Brent. So on the other side, we'll get a chance to talk about who you are, the creator journey, and the new ebook.
Lights, camera, action, join the Stream team and be a part of the streaming network. Our goal is to help you succeed.
I love that. That never gets old to me. And guys, if you haven't joined the Stream Team, it's a Facebook group over there on Facebook, of course. So find us, join the group, and we'll keep you up to date on all the stuff that we're doing at the Stream Show. That being said, Brent, man, thank you for taking the time to hang out with me, sir.
Oh, no, thank you for having me on. So I think this is really cool. It's been a while, so I'm, had this new setup. So today's the first really serious live stream. So far everything's working, thankfully.
Yeah, everything looks great. The backdrop looks great. I even have you over my shoulder here. So everybody's going to get a double dose of Brant Collins today. So, Brant, you are a content creator, and not just a content creator because the term for YouTube was created a couple of years ago. You have been creating content for a very long time, even having a business that's what you and your wife have done. Can you kind of give us a backdrop on your experience as, I guess, a media company, media director, all of that stuff?
Sure. Well, I mean, I started in TV and did some TV in college. I learned nonlinear editing before all the computer stuff, but I learned Final Cut Pro, and then I ended up coming to Little Rock here, and I got a job at UPN 38. I was the promotions producer there. And then from there, I worked at a couple of TV stations. The biggest one was I ran about 20 guys, and we did live news, live shows, Univision, live Spanish news. We just did a lot, and I was producing 24/7. My wife worked for a huge film company, and then she worked for a hospital in their communications department. And then just things aligned, and we ended up starting our own production company at HC for about 8 years. We had a lot of clients. We had some national clients, did a lot of cool stuff. And then got out of that and did some things, just trying to find some things that I was interested in. I've did work for tourism, did some traveling, but I never left doing video production and marketing. I've been a marketing director for a bank, and then I took this job, which is actually a content creator for the public library. So I was looking for something that was fit my strengths and then could help the community. And so now I work for the communications department, and we do just promotions and things to help promote the library. But I've also made a studio there and podcast for different people. And now it's becoming, people are reaching out to me all the time now to help me with their podcasts. Or actually, I got a meeting next week with some people to do a podcast. We're starting another one. So these are usually just me acting as a producer there and kind of giving some, try to tell people how to do it. And then I just to, make extra money, I freelance. So I currently have a client that I'm working, launch their company, did their website, doing all their kind of just helping from afar. So I help when they need help. They're trying to do most of it themselves, but I kind of just lead in that way as a consultant. But if I have to go in and fix something, I did do the website for them. So that's kind of what I do. So every day is, trying to figure out how to keep doing what we do. And recently, there's so many changes, with all the social medias and different, who's viewing what. So there's been a lot of challenges lately, but we just keep on keeping on.
And I absolutely love the fact, Brant, that your experience, how far it goes back from running a company, working with a cable company, and ad agency, and now being a content creator full time for the library there in your city. And you get an opportunity to kind of see it all the way around. Like you have a real 360 view of what it takes to be a content creator, not just where you started, but where you are now. So I love the expertise that you can provide us, the knowledge you can provide us from equipment, from tech, and all of that. So that being said, I do want to say this. Marlene is like cool. She's totally new to Ecamm. So we're glad that she's hanging out with us tonight. And then we also have Music Board Production, who is here to check out Ecamm. Been hearing great things. We'll probably download the trial tonight. Please, if you are downloading the trial, use the link in the description. You'll see it at the bottom. That is a link for the stream show, and we appreciate your support. So it wouldn't, all the discounts you can get it through that link as well. And I do want to answer this question. And hey everyone, I appreciate this show. Question: can anyone explain why so much latency on Brant's transmission and how to fix it? I'm a musician. Find the Ecamm that somehow does this on occasion. So I know, like, the technical side of how everyone, and Brent, you can help me out with this, sets up their unit from the camera, microphone, and then to Ecamm. And then also when you are transmitting, you have to think about your internet connection at the same time. Am I right, Brent?
Yeah, and I didn't know that I had that much latency. So and sometimes it could just be an internet thing, right? I did put fiber, so I'm should be running fiber straight to Ecamm, so I should have plenty of upload speed. I am doing I am using virtual camera 4K. If I knock that down, that might change it. But during our conversation, I didn't see any latency. I don't know if you see latency now or not.
There's a little latency now, and again, I didn't see that earlier either. So sometimes that does happen, and you really want, for everyone that's watching, I wanted to answer that question because you want to be thoughtful of how everything is connected, and you just have to troubleshoot to be able to figure out that latency. Now, for a baseline of understanding, your audio is always going to come, based on how your setup is, could come faster than your video. So inside of Ecamm, there is a delay that you could use as a setting, and you have different seconds that you could put it. 1 second, 2 seconds. I think for a Sony is like 2 or 4 seconds with Sony of a delay that you would need for your audio. So you always want to be sure you have that. Now, I'm bringing Brant in, and between Brant's internet connection and my internet connection, sometimes there can be a issue that between the two of us, we cannot control.
Now, I just changed. I don't know if that made it any different or any worse. I just changed from 2K to 1080p. So I wasn't 1080p. Then we can try. I can just go straight to my camera. Let's try that. Which shouldn't be. Now I'm just bypassing Ecamm. Is that any different or any better? Can you tell anything?
So it's on my end, it's just a little bit of latency, but it is better than it was.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it should be, like I said, I'm should be going out as fast as I can. So like I said, I'm having I might have just stopped just a little bit. So if I stop or look like I stopped, I'm just having a few little issues.
No. All right. So Aubry, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And so they're saying, yes, looks like it's a little better. And you have an absolutely cool setup back there, Brett. I mean, that is a cool setup.
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm streaming to my iPad so I can see what I'm doing behind me, so I can control the mouse and everything. But for some reason, the iPad, it freezes up every now and again. So now they're saying it's perfect. So, sometimes it just has to settle out. I'm in the middle of the woods in a shed, in Little Rock, Arkansas. I do have fiber. I'm going out as fast as I can. He's in Birmingham. It's probably all going to servers in Dallas and Atlanta. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on when you're streaming. So, that's one thing for a musician. You can't really record live over the internet very well because there's always going to be 2 or 3 second delay between each other.
And Paul, man, Mr. Moderator, is always good to have you with us tonight. And he's given us the link for check out the calculations for delay. And I do appreciate that. We are tech guys, so sometimes we can go on a tangent about tech. And all it takes is somebody to to kind of push us in one area. So, David, thank you for pushing us through the tech area, because we absolutely love to do that kind of stuff. So, getting into this, Brent, because I want to be able to help everyone with the content creator journey, like the whole experience that you've had. And maybe we could tell a story tonight that could be impactful to people that are watching that have their own journey, that are experiencing things for themselves. And then, of course, we are going to talk about your book so people can get help and download that. So I want to tell you today, as he has an ebook, we're going to give away some ebooks today. So at the end of the show tonight, we got some special things we want to do and give away some books or some of the ebooks that Brent had. That being said, let's start at Vlogmas 2020, Brant, where you decided, hey, you don't want to get in the shed back in the back here, and I want to start making content. You got all this experience. You did cable company. You did your own ad agency, and now you're in the shed saying, hey, I want to go on my own and produce content. Tell me what you were thinking at that time.
Well, actually, it started sooner than that. In 2007, when YouTube came out, I left actually, it was broadcast television. It wasn't a cable company. I left there because I was working, late at nights. I was doing a ton of work, and internet was, YouTube was just starting out. Twitter was just starting out. And I thought I could do the same thing. And I applied we had in Arkansas, we had an innovation startup, the Rockefeller Foundation. We're taking on, people. So I did all the paperwork, and I was the first client of this innovation hub, and they were trying to help, tech startups. And I wanted to do what we called at the time Station X, which was going to be basically a TV station on the internet. They wanted me to prove a proof of concept. We did a show called Beer Utopia, and we did it live, even back in 2006. I think I used Wirecast back then in my Mac laptop. Back then, the cameras were Firewire, so you didn't have to have any kind of devices. And we did it from my back porch. We reviewed craft beer. Craft beer was kind of new at that time. Within 7 episodes, I had a sponsorship from Flying Dog Brewery, which is a huge brewery, and people were sending me beer every day. So
Wow.
Every day when UPS came, I had new beer. Budweiser was sending me stuff. And then by episode 25, they flew us to the Great American Beer Festival, and we did a live show for 2 hours from the festival there. Flew to Denver. They paid for the whole trip. And it was, this was really what I thought I was going to do. And it was right at the time Gary Vaynerchuk started Wine Library TV. And I was like, if he can do that, I can do this. Right. So everything was going really well. I had dinners with Budweiser. We talked to the heads of marketing. I think everything was going pretty good. But then the recession hit. And during the recession, everybody pulled everything back. Back then, YouTube, you couldn't monetize on YouTube. There was no clear path to monetization on YouTube. And that's how we ended up becoming the agency, is because people said, I don't understand the internet stuff, but I understand what you're making content. Could you make my commercial? Could you make my documentary? So that's kind of how that happened. So I've always been trying to chase and replicate that, what we did in the past. And once COVID hit and you're stuck at home, I thought, this is going to be the future. Pandemics can happen again. I want to be set up, and I had all this equipment already. So I just cleared out the shed and started building and, started streaming and, relearning all of this stuff. Found Ecamm, found you, found.
How did you find the Let's Get Live community?
I'm sure it was from a Doc Rock video, and I think it really came down to I was using Wirecast, and it was 4 or 5 generations old, and it wouldn't work with Facebook Live unless I paid $700 to upgrade it. Up until then, I felt like I was always getting free upgrades, but at that point, I said, well, I don't know if I'm going to do this is this just for fun? I don't really know. And I tried Ecamm because it was a monthly subscription. And I'm sure that's once I found Ecamm, then I found the Let's Get Live group and started streaming in there, doing the Vlogmas. I did my Vlogmas. I went during the pandemic. I'd walk every day at lunch, and I did it with my iPhone. And I was learning how to do LumaFusion, which is edit on the iPhone. So I did it all from the iPhone, edited it, produced it, had microphones and everything. nobody knew the difference. And I was like, and that's what's kind of cool. I was trying to really push that technology as far as how far we've come, because when I started, we just had digital tape come out. I'd still shot on S beta cameras and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And digital camera came out that did 24p. Then all of a sudden you started to look like film, because I wanted to be a filmmaker. And now you've got more stuff in your pocket, so there's no more excuses. I kind of ran out of excuses. So um, it's a journey. That's like my personal goal is to make 6 figures from right here, sitting in this chair in my shed behind my house. We'll see if we can get there. I've tried a lot of different things. I'm constantly evolving, as well as I do. It was huge during the pandemic. Then after the pandemic, we all had to go back to work, and viewership, and you see it across all of YouTube everywhere.
That's right.
It plummeted. So people lost money, lost income. So, I've been, since I left the stream show, I've just been kind of doing the homework and trying to figure out my path and how I can do this.
So tonight, guys, again, we're talking about the content creator experience and the journey. And this is a story that I think it intrigues me because I know Brant. So if you think about, Brent said he started with, he found Ecamm, like all of us have. So I was using vMix. And I wanted to use vMix. So I was using it at my church job, and I wanted to use it at home, but I'm a Mac guy. So, of course, vMix is just for PC, and I had to go and find something that gave me the quality of vMix as a video production, and that's where I found Ecamm. And instantly, when I found Ecamm, I brought it up for a whole year. This is the system I want to use. Let's go. And I think I was already, no, I haven't seen all of Doc's stuff, and they've been a little bit aware of what he was doing. And as he grew and started the group, and the Let's Get Live VIP group just began to grow with all of these people. Brent, I gotta say that we didn't know at the time how much experience that you actually had in media. Like, you were absolutely cheating, coming in with all that experience and shooting on an iPhone with a microphone. I mean, you knew all of this stuff way ahead of us. I think it is really, really cool. So as we go through this, Paul is helping me out, and definitely I do appreciate it. If you have a question for me or Brent while we actually go through this, just put a Q : before your question, and we'll get to it. So, I don't want to, we're going to tell this story, and I know everyone has their own story of experience through this journey. But if you have any particular questions for Brent or I about, a different piece of the story or how to get over a particular piece, we're here to help. That being said, we're in the pandemic, and you stop with us coming out of the pandemic, where viewership and really engagement online had started to go down. At that time, I think you were still working as a marketing manager at a bank. Like, what was going through your head when you decided to, I see an opportunity to be a content creator in my area, I want to go for it? Tell me what you were thinking then.
Well, I was looking for something that would get back to what I used to do in TV, which was just produce videos. Being a marketing director was okay. I just didn't feel like I had I had to meet specific goals, but I didn't feel like my boss let me do it my way, which I felt was the right way. She wanted to do stuff back from the 80s and 90s. So we were kind of button heads on that. And then I'm very purpose driven, and the library is something I can really get behind. They do a lot of good for people. I've been taking my kids there forever. And really, I applied for it because it was a content creator, because everybody was talking about being a content creator, but I'd never met an actual content creator. So I was like, hey, if I could get this, I'd get it on my business card. And it was pretty cool, is because I interviewed with a setup like this. It was my old setup, but this is how I did the Zoom interview. So, showing up to an interview like this kind of blew everybody away. And then the HR director just said, we're really nice. You might like a nice place to work. And she really sold it for me, because I didn't want to take it. They gave me a little bit more money, and I took a little bit of a pay cut, but I got to hit the ground running and doing, kind of making my job what I wanted it to be. And there's lots of challenges and things like that, but it's just been a little bit more creative and gives me more opportunity to learn. I'm doing going through drone course right now to get my drones, pilot license. I was able to set up a TV studio there, and we're actually going to close the library in September, and I have to take everything down. And we're going to be closed for 2 years, but we are talking about making dedicated podcast booths and a dedicated TV studio. So we're talking with architects right now. So it's kind of a good time for me to be there because I can help, because I've built studios at that level. I can kind of help direct that we get the right equipment. And then the next challenge will be, how do you turn the public loose on that? So that's something that I'm trying to learn, that I'll be visiting some other libraries that already do that, but checking out gear. A good example, I had a coworker, she does the like the teen area, and she got a grant to do film production. She wanted to do film and video and photography. She had about $10,000, and she had to spend it in like a day because there were some issues. That's how this grant worked. She came to me, and I was able to sit down because of all this experience and all the stuff I've done and all this group here. I was able to sit down in an hour with her and order all the equipment she got. We went B&H. I got the ZV-10s, I got the Rode Wireless Go-2s because I use those myself. I got all the stuff that we needed, that we've used, that we've tried. And I think she had it 3 days later from B&H. So she's starting off with that program and now teaching kids how to do, teenagers, so, they can make their own short films, or maybe they'll be their own vloggers, or all that kind of cool stuff. So it was just, it's been a very, very interesting journey for me to be a little bit more creative than maybe I was as a director of marketing,
Man, that is awesome. That is awesome. And not only am I feeling the journey, so is Miss Jill, who's hanging out with us today. She says, great to see you. Glad you could hang out with us tonight, Miss Jill. And she says, I feel Brent, and I have a ton of similar roles. Like, she works with a school, and she's saying that schools and libraries need these roles, and it is also important for all of us to understand. And Silverhead Fitness, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. The reason why we're doing this, Jill, Silverhead Fitness, is an opportunity for you guys to hear the experience that Brent has and the journey, because this resonates for all of us. So not only is he a full-time content creator there in his city, he's also placed himself in an area where he's getting work. People are calling him to be able to handle what they want to do. They got grants, they got money, but they don't have the know-how. And he got his job based off the setup that he used for Ecamm, during our show. So he's going in, did a Zoom. People probably love what he did. Great background, great color, the whole nine. That, with his resume, allow him to be in this role. So I need you guys to think about where you are. What are you doing in your home setup? I mean, you see what I have here at the house. I'm in my basement doing this, guys. If people see this, well, point made. There's a friend of mine that is online who's actually ran for a mayor of a city. I interviewed him on my show, Brant, because he was running for mayor. I thought his story was a great story. He actually got the job. So he's a mayor of a metropolitan city outside of Birmingham. Well, knowing my setup, being interviewed by me, he says, hey, I like what you do. You look great. Can you help me install a room that I can create content here at City Hall? Come on, Brant. Like, can you beat that?
Well, and I had to do this. I got to do the same thing at the library. And the great thing about it is you can turn it on day one. Once you get the equipment set up, you know how to do it, and you can make it look good. You can set their scenes, and all of a sudden, it's like you're just one and done. And they're like, how did you know how to do this? Like, well, it stumbled for a year figuring this all out, making, things have gotten easier. Equipment's gotten easier. Every time I turn around, Ecamm beta group is there's better. There's more features, and it's a skill set that I've always believed this, and I just feel like we've come to it now, is that video what I did in video production, even back in college, I wanted to go to Hollywood. I wanted to make movies. But nowadays, you don't have to go to Hollywood. You should go to Atlanta probably. But,
Right.
so you can just, these skill sets are very, very needed. If you look at like Miss Jill there in our schools, when our kids during the pandemic, there was not one person on staff that could do this for them. Like the Zoom classes were terrible. The everything they were just fumbling through. And you're right. I think everybody should have a content creator now. It's kind of weird. Like where I work, really, I wouldn't say what I thought. That's not this kind of content creation. It's more like I'm the video guy, but I'm also work with the marketing department and communications. So I do a lot of stuff, whether it be print or, all kinds of stuff. It's just, I have a skill set that I can do just about anything. I had to fill in for the web guy when we hired a new one. I have to do email marketing. I knew how to do that. We use Canva. I'd already been using Canva for our show. We've been doing Canva forever. So I was just able to like fit right in and use all the tools they were using. And it's all because I was, instead of sitting around waiting for somebody to pick me, I messed around with a guy named Strick and we built all this stuff, right? You remember we met every day. I think we had a face-to-face every day for 2 weeks trying to
Getting it
figure out
together.
graphics. Yeah. I mean, or, marketing, websites, all this stuff. And I've always said that these things never have made me money. They've, I've made a little bit of money along the way. I'm not Mr. Beast, but every creative venture I've got to has given me the skills to get that next job. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
So it's never useless. So even if you decide you're doing this and you're just really good at making, Facebook, or thumbnail art with Canva, that is a position that people want to pay for, so, or maybe you want to do podcasting. I mean, a lot of this stuff crosses over for so many ways. So it's a really good thing to do.
Right. So Jill is helping us out. She said you may not
Yep.
be Mr. Beast, but you are Mr. Brandt.
Thank you very much. And I've, and I'm doing some new things that is totally experimental, that when we get to that point I want to talk about, I can talk about that, but it's going to be totally different. So
No, let's talk about it. So
all right.
I know, because we've had conversations, Brent, like your idea of helping people figure out their piece in the creator economy. Because, there's so many different things that coaches are saying, other content creators are saying. You have your own voice and your own beliefs about what it really takes today and how you could do it. And with those beliefs, you actually written them down to help people in an ebook. Can you tell us about this ebook?
Yeah, so my background's been in marketing and production and, branding forever. So I actually had a client years ago that I was their main agency and I co-created with another agency. And I told him, I said, I know more than they do. I don't know why we keep using them. And he goes, I know, but he wrote a book. So I've always said I better write a book. So, and then along came Chat GPT, and I was fascinated with Chat GPT. And I'm a little bit, writing's not my strongest point, and I'm a little ADHD. Probably, if that's, if they would have, went back then, I got a lot of ideas, and Chat GPT was kind of like a coach for me, and it was able to help me organize everything and get structure and, make the book and produce it in Canva. I mean, so it's really using all my skill sets to try to do that. And that was a lot of fun. But I just really think when I go back and I listen to a lot of the YouTube creators, or, some of the people that are in our space or other spaces, it's this week it's YouTube, next week it's TikTok. Everybody's shifting from this to that. You hit
Right.
some of the big YouTubers, all in on shorts. No, now don't do shorts. Don't do TikTok. Yes, do TikTok. Now do shorts and TikTok. I decided to quit all that and just focus on your brand. So focusing on your brand and figuring out not only how you present yourself to the world, but most important is figure out who you are and what your true gifts are and what can you give to people. I think sometimes we try too hard to say, I want to be this person, and we mimic too much. We do it a lot in our type of group, right? Where I want to be, we learn from Doc Rock and we're all look like Doc Rock or talk like Doc Rock. It's sometimes you got to just be yourself. And I found that nobody needs another Gary Vaynerchuk. Nobody needs another, I always kind of wanted to be somewhere between Gary Vaynerchuk and Seth Godin. And that's my background. And I love speaking about marketing and branding and all that stuff. So I decided to do the book. I've got my website. So now when I do,
Hey, let's check out this website because I
Sure.
think it's absolutely killer. So we talked about his experience, we talked about his journey. Now let's look at some of his work. This is
So I started
awesome, man.
2006. I think I was, when WordPress was new. I've been doing WordPress since then, and I make a lot of sites for people. And I just, I did everything myself. I took my own pictures. I used the camera and did the timer.
Hey, listen, this picture is awesome, man. Who is that guy?
I did the research to figure out what colors I wanted to use, and the yellow and gray were kind of trending, and yellow. And as I look at everything now, I don't see as much yellow on YouTube. Like if you just stare at YouTube thumbnails, it kind of pops. So I wanted that yellow in there. And like I said, I built everything myself. I don't use Kajabi or anything else. I actually did all the commerce myself. And basically, this is just a landing page to get when I have clients to send them to. I'd started
Excellent.
a podcast, and I've only got I got 2 episodes. Kind of on the fence on where this is going to go. And then I just connected my YouTube channel, and I just really haven't. I just there's some test videos I did. I did a Vlogmas. I've done some shorts. I'm always trying stuff. Some things have great success. Some things don't. It's kind of strange to experiment with all that stuff. But if you go to the blog, I actually try to blog there more often. If you click on the top at the blog button.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So I've been trying to write some posts. I got all of my socials are there. So all I do is send somebody to brantcollins.com. It's my name. I've had it forever. That's, who I am. This is some more of my deep thinking, but oddly enough, none of my work has ever come from a website. It's all come from people I meet and people I know and word of mouth. And
so I hit the shop button, Brent, and look at where it took me.
So I'm actually self-hosting that in a WooCommerce, and got it connected with Stripe and all that stuff. So I don't have to pay anybody anything except for Stripe. And if you wait around till the end of the show, I'm going to give away 10 free books. So I'll have a code that you can use for the coupon, and we'll do that at the end of the show, and you could get it free. And it's about 30 pages. It's just really about how to develop your brand, how to choose your colors, talk about color theory. There's a lot of stuff in there, kind of the things that I go through to, make sure you stand out as a brand. So
by following the advice and strategies in this ebook, you can learn how to create a strong, unique brand that will help you stand out in the crowded creator economy and grow your audience and income. Excellent, brother. I absolutely love this, man. I love this. You know what? I'm biased, Brent. I'm biased. I want you to win in everything you do, but not only do I want you to win, you have shown us with your expertise, your experience, and know-how how to do this. So if someone is out there, and we're going to give away the book next, someone's out there watching this, and you've had your experience in being a content creator, what advice would you give them?
A lot of it has to do with introspective and finding out who you are and who you want to be, and what your strengths are. So sometimes I think a lot of burnout comes from, people doing camera review for a year, and then they're like, I don't want to do camera review anymore. They go to something else, and they go to something else. If you build your solid brand on who you are, and you do things that you like, or I'm not say you like, but when you come, who I am. So I thought a lot about like movie stars, or, if I go watch a really good actor, I watch that actor for the movies that they're in, and they can go from movie to movie to movie, right? It can be a sci-fi, it can be a horror movie, it can be a love movie, comedy. I like that person, and they're good at I know they've sold me on their brand. And
Right.
so I kind of wanted to be more like that. I mean, as being a DJ, your brand is who you are. And I know DJs here that they'll leave one station, they're gone for 30 days, they're back at another station. Might be a country station, but it's their personality, it's who they are. So if
Right.
you can focus on that, then you can transport that to whatever platforms, whether that's Shorts, whether it's Zoom, whatever it is, you can just package yourself up and go that way, because it's just at that point, it's just a technical, it's vertical or horizontal or 1 minute versus 3 minutes, but you know who you are as a brand. And now once you have your brand, then you can say, how am I going to approach this subject? So I realized too that there's like, nobody needs another camera review show on YouTube. Nobody really needs another think media or anything like that. So it's just not a space I want to get into anymore. So most of my content creation is, I'm going to completely do a total 180 here. I'm experimenting. One book I will tell you to read. I never read the first one, and I just got the second upgraded version. It's called Content Inc. And it kind of starts you from the very beginning about content creation and really more about a business. And because I'm at the library now, I have a black belt in Aikido, and I've always wanted to teach a class, but I don't have a school and I don't have income for that. So they actually purchased mats for me, and I volunteer for free to teach people on the weekends. And I'm having a good time. My son goes with me. I'm getting back into my Aikido. It's something I spent a lot of time in my life on. And we posted 2 videos, and I'm in a Facebook group of about 135,000 people. 2 videos and 2 shorts in 7 days. I had more than my personal YouTube channel has had in 3 years. And
Wow.
so I felt like, I get it now. I finally found a niche. I finally found something. Nobody's doing what I do. There's no, it's just right for the picking. So I'm going to be started making content for that group. And it's totally different from this content, right? I'll
Right.
probably have a show. I'll look at some YouTube videos and stuff, but just the engagement and I'm both 2 videos that I have are almost up to 1,000 views, and I'm already up to 54 watch hours, and and that's in a day, or I mean, a week.
Wow.
And I don't have that on my 3-year-old YouTube channel. So, so that it really started teaching me to think about, take all these skills as a content creator, but just go out there and look for segments that you can shine in. And sometimes it doesn't have to be passion. I think I am passionate about video production and filming and all this, but it's really my vocation. It's what I do. And at my age, I don't know that I can do anything else. So now I just have to take those skills and try to apply it to something else. And for me, it's very self-serving. I do want to make money with these projects. So,
Right.
but then
And you
the
can
other
do
thing,
it.
yeah.
You
And
can,
then the other thing is I'm going to try to do the things that I wanted to do originally when I got into this. Was I wanted to make films, and I wanted to do creative things, and I'm just going to make things. I'm just going to start experimenting where I'm going to make short films. I'm going to got ideas for fight sequences and fight scenes, and really just doing the things that I really, really want to do, and not worry about the monetization part, not worry about all that other stuff, because that stuff was what was getting me, making it more like a job. And
right.
why do what I do at work and come home and do it again? So, and really it all changed when Chat GPT and Midjourney happened, because it just has let me able to write scripts, pull ideas, I'm a trained artist, and it came up with so many great ideas. I still have to go remake them if I want them, to do, but
Right.
it just helps me kind of work through an issue, work through an idea, and see if it has legs. And if it looks like it has legs, then then I'll start working on it. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole world out there, and I'm 52. I'll be 53 in May. And if I'm lucky, I got 30 years left. So
Yes, sir. You
I
got
want
some
to
time left.
I want to produce, and I want to make things. I want to have fun, and have the joy that I used to have, you know, filming and editing. I just don't want to, and I call it OPP, other people, well, OPC, other people's content. is what I've been doing my whole life. Now I'm ready to work on my content,
I love
but
it.
I'm also not saying I have to quit my job and do it full time. It's my passion. It's not, it's side things that I do for fun. So like
I
everybody
love it.
hunts and fishes.
Hey, I want to interrupt you really quick, Brant,
Mhm.
because the principal is hanging out in the building. So
There
she's
we
like, old
go.
school stream show. Yes, yes. Thank you for saying hello. And she says, I think I needed to hear tonight's stream. I'm doing some soul searching in the niche department myself. And one
Very,
of the
very good.
reasons why we are doing this show, not only do we want to give away some of Brant's new ebook, but we want to talk about the journey. Even with all of his media experience as a content creator, the journey could take you up. There's some ups and downs in this journey. There's some great successes. We've had an opportunity to interview some of the big YouTubers. We had a chance to interview some of the Ecamm community members, and it is a joy. And there's some work that comes along with this, and sometimes it could be disheartening. Sometimes it could be really slow. And then there are other times it could just be so rewarding. All right. So the reward for me, Brent, is an opportunity to meet somebody like Brant Collins. We had an opportunity just, was it last year or the year before, where we
Year before
actually had a
last.
chance
Yep.
to see each other in Birmingham. I had a
Mhm.
chance to take him to one of the great barbecue places and kind of hang out and talk. And those things, to be honest with you guys, you can't put a price on that. You cannot put a price on the experience that you have of meeting people from all over the world during your journey as a content creator. So everyone that's watching this, whether it's live now or in a replay, our job is just to inspire you. We started out with the stream so saying that we want streamers to succeed. And some of that success is just being open and relevant to you about where you are and where the content journey could take you. Some of us get it. Like I have some content creator friends, Brant, they got it day one out the gate and they're booming. And some of us, it takes some time. Now we are looking at some of the successful YouTube content creators that have been doing it for 8, 9, 10 years. And we can't expect to be where a 10-year-old content creator is in year number 2. That being said,
Yeah.
go ahead. I know you want to respond to that.
Well, I agree. And I think that believe it's all about your intention. So if you want to do this for fun and you want to have it as a hobby, great. If you enjoy buying the equipment, playing with it and having fun, meeting your friends, hanging out, great. My purpose is I have kids to feed, kids to go put through school. I have to make some sort of income. So I could either go take a second job or I could just try to make this work. So I kind of go into it with a little bit of a plan because I don't want to be all over the place. I want my end goal is I can't wait 10 years to make this profitable. So I'm trying to experiment and find things that work for me or how to, and I don't like the words hack. I just want to use my skills. I have all the skills. And I think one of the things I did too much of is watching too many shows over and over and over, trying to figure out how to edit or how to do this. I'm like, I know how to do all this. Why am I watching this again? I need to be making things.
Right.
The other thing that I did, the videos that I'm doing for my Aikido class, I just did it with my phone. I threw them up on a Facebook group of 135,000 people. And I got a crap ton of bad comments, trolls, but it's engagement. And I was fine with that. And that shot it through the roof. I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have a tripod. I just threw it up, but then I'm smart enough to go back and look at the analytics. All of it was from that Facebook group. So 98% of that came from the Facebook group. That was mostly 45 to 50-year-old males. So now I know who my target audience is, right? So, for like the principle, just throw some stuff up there. It's kind of like fishing, right? You just see what's biting, and don't worry about it being perfect. And I think I spent too much time trying to make things perfect, and just throw some stuff out there, but be smart enough to look at the analytics, how to track it, see if you're having, engagement or not. And you might just find, like I did, all of a sudden this is working and it's going huge. And I started getting in this group. I was trying to communicate more with that group. The content, ink book that I talked about, it basically said just focus on one thing, and that's the audience and subscriptions. So just I only have a YouTube page. That's it. I'm not going to build. I'm the world's worst. I'll go build a website, a bit of t-shirt. I got the brand. I got everything. I'm just going to YouTube and I'm going to share it in this group and just learn and see. I'm trying to figure it out, right? And I'm already doing it anyway. I like it. I like Aikido. I already have all the equipment. So it's just a lot of fun, but I'm trying to, I think things are changing. I don't think everybody wants processed video anymore. I think, it's time now to just go live from your phone or just record from your phone, your thoughts. That's what people want. This authenticity. There's places for high quality content too. But it's all converging and everything's kind of up in the air right now with, TikTok and YouTube and shorts and shorts monetization starts February 1st. I'm not there yet. That's another frustrating thing I had. I got so upset that I couldn't get into monetization, but I've been monetized since, I can monetize anytime I want.
Right.
It just kind of makes me mad that I can't get into the, 10,000 hours. I'm like, you do the math and go to chat. Here's what I did. Go to ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT what you are right now, how many viewers, subscribers, watch hours, and tell it how long it take you to be monetized. It'll do the math for you. It'll tell you 7 years, 10 years. This new thing that I'm doing said 2 years. So I was like, all of a sudden I was working in a niche that was 10 years to grow. Now I've whittled it down to 2 years.
There you go. By finding it.
Just by trying some stuff.
So this is what Paul has to say. The only way people will subscribe to your channel is if you have one and if you are making content. Thank you so very much for that, Paul. Brant, we want to do this now. We want to give away some ebooks. So how do you want to do that tonight?
I'm going to send a code to you in the chat here. Let me get it in my notes and I will send it to you and you can chat because I can't chat with everybody.
Gotcha.
So there's only 10. So you'll have to send it out. Guest chat, right? So I can send this to you in guest chat. So if you go to the website, go to the store, use this code that Strick is about to put in the chat, or you can put it on the screen, however you want to do it. There's only 10 and it runs out tomorrow morning. So you better get it now and give me your feedback. Let me know. You can leave a, comment on the website. If you like it, don't like it, you're not going to hurt my feelings. But I just want to try to start and help, and who knows? I don't know if I'll do another one. I might. We'll see. I don't know yet. So it's just something that, have you ever had those things that you just want to do and you want to get done? Now you can check it off your list, right? So
I love it. I love it. And I'm about to paste this onto the screen, and I'm hoping that it is big enough. Let me make sure that it's big enough for everyone to see. I'll put it here.
There you go.
So here you go, guys. You want to go to brantcollins.com and use this code that I have on the screen. And it is good for how long, Brent?
It runs out tomorrow, or it runs out tomorrow at midnight. It's just for this group. So 10 lucky people, you can get in there and get you that right now. So if you have an issue, let me know. You can email. It's Brant@brantcollins.com, but it should all be working.
And we're talking about this ebook right here.
When you add it to your cart, there'll be a coupon area. So put that coupon in there and it should say $0. If there's any issues, just email me.
I want to make sure people can see it again. So I want to put it on their screen here. So this is the ebook and the code. I love technology, dude. This is really, really cool to be able to do this all with Ecamm. So, basically me texting the code is really, really simple. I hit the text button and copy the code in and place it on the screen. And there you go. I love it when a plan comes together. The Content Creator's Handbook to Establishing a Strong Brand. This is an ebook by Brant Collins. And if you go add it to your cart, go through the process, there will be a code section. Take this code and you can have the ebook for free. Brant, man, it was great catching up with you.
Oh, great catching up with you. And I saw Paul real quick down there. It says, is it say Amazon.com?
Let me see here. So this is just going to your site. So I'm going to go back to the chat. Let me pull up his chat.
Yeah. I just wanted to answer a question if that was what if he had a question.
Oh yeah, he's putting it up
Collins.
right so everybody can see the
it.
link. There
I
you go.
got you. Brant Collins. There you go. So, I thought I decided to sell it myself and not go through Amazon or anything else because, I did all the research. If you charge $4.99, you get most of that yourself. The only way to kind of get lift on Amazon is if you give it away for 99 cents, and then you don't really start making money from Amazon unless you charge over $7. And I didn't really feel like it was a $7 value.
Yes, I'm
it's
sure
ebook.
it's $7, brother. I'm sure it's worth $7.
It's an ebook. I wanted to make it, you'll spend $5, right? I've spent $5 on a lot of stuff. I spent $20 on a lot of plugins. You make me spend all kinds of $20 on AppSumo stuff,
Hey, listen, it's there for you. I absolutely love it. Listen, I already have the ebook, and I appreciate, Brent, what you bring to the community, and I want to encourage you, sir, keep going. Whatever the niche that you got right now, keep creating, keep doing it. We need you in our community, and the world needs you creating, sir.
And if anybody needs any help, just, I do consult. I do, I don't have a standard, click on the button and do this Zoom call for X amount of dollars, because everybody's different. But, I do consult and coach. So if you have some questions, you can email me, Brant@BrantCollins.com, and let me know in the message or somewhere in the email that you got it from, watching this show, just so I know where you guys came from. So be glad to help, or you can always fill out the contact form on the website.
So guys, next week, I'm going to dive into what I think, as you are a content creator, some people are not built to be in front of the camera. What if you learn how to use Ecamm and you can be the very best remote production director ever? Can you make money that way too? Next week, we're going to talk all about remote production with Ecamm. So Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you got me, DJ Strick, on the stream show. Brant, thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me. I was glad to catch up.
It is always awesome to have you, man. People don't know how. I used to tell people all the time, man. Brant and I would get together and kind of get on the phone and chat like little girls.
You got so busy. You're, with your wife and all the #1 Billboard hits and being in Spain and Bahamas. I have a hard time keeping up with where you're at.
It starts all over again in March, so be praying for me, brother. I get January, February off from doing a lot of stuff with her. In March, we go to the moon again. So
my goal is to be back at the Barber Vintage Festival in October, so maybe we can go eat barbecue again.
Hey, let's do the barbecue again, sir. Let's do it.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Brent.
Hey, this is DJ Strick, and I would like to thank you for watching another edition of The Stream Show.